Welcome to Japan. Captivating, vibrant, and unique. From tranquil gardens and shrines to the neon-lit streets of Tokyo, a deep-rooted tradition is combined with a cutting-edge modernity. There is a timeless allure and innovative spirit that defines this island nation. I simply wanted to get a glimpse into the soul of Japan. The samurai are considered one of the most elite warriors in history. At the heart of their beliefs was their honor code called the Bushido, the way of the warrior. This code was the result of the most vital philosophies and religions that these warriors strictly followed: Zen Buddhism, Confucianism, and Shintoism. The beliefs of Shinto greatly linked the samurai warriors to their land and people, whereas Confucianism educated them to respect authority and developed a political and social hierarchy. Finally, Zen Buddhism taught the samurai the important morals that let them grow into effective warriors and could face death bravely. In the wake of the Meiji Restoration, Shinto was made the state religion of Japan. Unlike Confucianism, Buddhism, and Christianity, it was wholly Japanese, and Bushido was adopted as its ruling moral code. 2 centuries after the end of the samurai class, the Bushido is still alive in Japanese culture. While there are no more samurai warriors in Japan today, the philosophies of ancient times are now found and applied in martial arts, devotion to one's work, and the ceremonial quality found in traditional arts. Furthermore, the vast majority of Japanese citizens follow Shinto in some form. People visit shrines in order to pay respect to the kami, or the gods, and to pray for good fortune. Shrines are also visited during special events such as New Year and other festivals. In addition, today roughly 2/3 of the Japanese population consider themselves Buddhists. However, the religion does not directly affect their everyday life. Funerals are usually carried out in a Buddhist way, and many households keep a small house altar in order to pay respects to their ancestors. Today there is a popular saying, "We live as Shintoists, but we die as Buddhists." Shintoism, Buddhism, and the Bushido seem to permeate many values and philosophies in Japanese culture. One of these is wabi-sabi. The idea that it is the imperfection that makes something beautiful is not unique to Japan, but the concept of wabi-sabi goes a bit further than that. The appreciation of aesthetics goes all the way back to 14th century and has its roots in Zen Buddhism, which emphasizes minimalism and recognition that the way to avoid suffering is to avoid attachment to worldly desires. This led to the admiration of impermanence, simplicity, and things in their natural state. The tea ceremony is one of the most well-known expressions of wabi-sabi, in which not a single movement is wasted in a perfect yet simple choreography. Kintsugi, in which a broken piece of pottery is repaired using gold, is another good example of wabi-sabi. It can even be found in the Japanese love of the short-lived cherry blossoms. The very fact that the sakura only lasts for a short while makes it even more beautiful. They emphasize the idea of impermanence. In Japan, customer service is famously wonderful, and this is due to the concept of omotenashi. Omotenashi's meaning is similar to the customer is king, but it's a bit more than that. Japanese restaurants and hotels truly aspire to make a guest feel at home and taken care of. One of the most important things you have to learn when you work in the Japanese service industry is to anticipate a customer's needs even before they become aware of what they want themselves. Details are also very important, and you will find that everything you could possibly need will be there when you need them. A wet towel, any type of cutlery, slippers, or even a blanket when it's cold. If you want to experience omotenashi at its best, you should definitely try to book a ryokan, a traditional Japanese inn where you can enjoy an impeccable level of service. There are many other ancient ideas that seem to affect Japan today. The concept of kuri means both clean and beautiful. It can be seen in the care they take of themselves, the environment around them, and even in the quality of their food. The idea of wa can be witnessed in schools and businesses. It means harmony and consensus building. And kaizen, the belief that incremental improvement is a noble goal. When you visit Japan, you get a real sense these ideas, which stem from ancient traditions, are alive in everyday life. Manga are comic books rather than animations. Unlike anime, manga is often published in black and white. They are usually published weekly, and printing them in color would take too much time and money. In Japan, the term anime is used to refer to all animation, much like cartoons in the US. Anime has visually distinct features for characters and deliberately uses a limited style for depicting movement. In the West, most animations are cartoons used to tell children's stories, whereas anime often refers to complex storylines and characters with adult themes. A major turning point came with the U.S. Army's occupation of Japan in 1945, which introduced American comics and cartoons. Japan's post-war youth generation absorbed and adapted these influences. Kawaii culture is centered around the appeal of cuteness characterized by childlike, charming qualities and playful elements. As the Japanese word for cute, kawaii has connotations of shyness and lovability. Small fluffy creatures like Hello Kitty, for example. Kawaii can refer to items, humans, and non-humans that are youthful, cute, and childlike, and is based on the physical features of young children and animals. Animals can take on human features to make them appear more lifelike. Similarly, humans can take on the features of animals, particularly cats, using tails and ears to enhance emotional expression. Japanese kawaii culture has permeated all aspects of lifestyle and popular culture. Even the road crossing chirps rather than beeps. There is Harajuku Street, quirky cafe culture, fluffy stuffed animals and mascots, and young women dressed in manga and anime costumes. You often even find it in the food. Baseball is the most popular team sport in Japan. Horace Wilson, an American English teacher in Tokyo, first introduced baseball to Japan in 1872, and other American teachers and missionaries popularized the game in the next few decades. Professional baseball started in the 1920s, and the first professional team was formed in 1934. It was only in the 1960s that Japan had enough players to compete seriously against the best in America. American teams again began visiting Japan as early as 1949, and the result has been a steady flow of American players coming since the 50s. The following was written in 2012 by baseball writer Robert Whiting. Besaburu, as it is also called, is the national sport of Japan, but it is not the game that Americans know and love. Take a trip to a Japanese ballpark such as the Tokyo Dome, home of the Yomiuri Giants, and a completely different baseball culture will reveal itself. It's not just the sake and squid and the beer girls in shorts carrying draft cake beers. It is the values of group harmony and discipline that mirror the society at large. Besaburu strategy focuses on tactics like the sacrifice bunt, something most American managers eschew. There is a decided lack of the hard slides and brushback pitches typical at a Major League Baseball game. A pitcher who accidentally hits a batter, for example, will politely tip his cap in apology. Anthony Bourdain once said, "Food is everything we are. It's an extension of nationalist feeling, ethnic feeling, your personal history, your province, your region, your tribe, your grandma. It's inseparable." I couldn't agree more. To me, the soul of Japan, for all the things already mentioned, is in its food. Whether it be street food or a five-star restaurant, it truly defines what Japan is all about. It is hard to define the soul of a nation. Plato said an individual and the state needed restraint, wisdom, and courage. Others define it as a country's traditions, culture, and mindset. Perhaps it can manifest itself in its values, how we treat our children, the elderly, the disabled, even our criminals. Regardless of definition, I am convinced I only touched the surface on discovering the soul of Japan. I am sure I do not have a fully accurate picture, but it is the perception I have after my visits. The society seems to have harmony, order, and cleanliness. The people seem to be polite, hardworking, respectful, and have a sense of self-development. My overall impression of Japan was positive. It was quirky, fun, very crowded, and wonderfully unique. I will definitely be going back.